Hey, I'm Lisa. 我住在 Shanghai. Let's see my city. Well, my apartment, except not even that, because honestly, it's a little messy. Also, it's just kind of ugly. Like, I don't really want to show people my apartment. So, yeah, that's that. Anyway, so today I just want to talk about three perks of living in China and three things I have to get used to. So let's get started. Let's just jump right into it. Okay, so let's start with number one. I think daily life here is very affordable, and I would even say cheap. Of course, there's always that question of like, is something really cheap? Like maybe because I'm used to like the American idea of what prices are, that I just think this is cheap when I convert it into American dollars. But you know, it also depends on like, because salaries in America are higher, prices are higher. Because salaries in China are lower, prices are lower. But I would still say that I do think life here is fairly, like daily life is fairly cheap, especially for foreigners. So, like for example, I'm going to eat meals, like whether it be something simple like noodles or dumplings, or like a simple rice and like meat and vegetable dish. I think all of these are all very affordable, very cheap. Like it's only a couple of dollars to eat a meal, and it like makes you feel full. Or even if you go out to nicer restaurants, I still think you get more food and you pay less money than you would in America. Other things would be like grocery shopping. I think fruits and vegetables are really cheap. Even like extra things. I think getting massages like is something that seems fairly common here. I don't know if I want to say common, but like in America, I never would because I always just assume like, oh, it's so expensive or too expensive. Like I don't need to spend that money on that. And so maybe some people are like, well, you're cheap. But anyway, the point is like I think they're much cheaper in China, and so I've done it. Like I've got massages. I don't think I've ever gotten a massage in America, but I've gotten them multiple times in China. And so that's just something that's kind of nice to be able to do. And then even things like maybe going to the movies. I do have to say, I think this one also kind of depends on if you know someone or you are able, or maybe like me, you have a Chinese boyfriend who can help you find good like coupons, good discount deals. Like he knows all the good websites and apps to use to find deals to get like cheap tickets for things. And so like once I saw like a 3D movie, like a new movie for just a couple of dollars. Like, and so I think if you know where to look, and you know how to look for good deals, like you can do a lot of things in China for really cheap, for like really low prices. Number two, I think would be public transportation. I think the subway systems here are fantastic. I mean, I've only personally experienced Nanjing, Shanghai, anywhere else? Maybe when I traveled. But anyway, I'll specifically talk about Shanghai. But overall, I'll have to say that the subways I've been in are always like well organized. Like they're well organized. The lines are easy to use. Even if you don't know Chinese, like you don't know how to read Hanzi, like they always have pinyin, so for like travelers or foreigners can read it. Of course, like they get busy, but the system itself is very good. Like there are many stops in Shanghai, like so it's always easy to find a subway stop. Like if you're a little bit lost, you're usually not that far from a subway stop. And then the prices are so cheap. Like it's really cheap to use the subway every day. And then I have to say, coming from America, I can really appreciate and I feel impressed by China's train systems. Like their trains go to so many cities in China, and they have so many trains like traveling. They're well scheduled. They're usually on time. So I really appreciate that I have this other option rather than just always having to fly to another city. Okay, so the last one, number three, well, the last one for pros. I want to talk about convenience. So I feel like that word might contradict what I say later on, but let me explain what I think is convenient about life here. There are really two main things. Is like, oh, look at that. Anyway, there are two main things. I'm so good at this whole video thing. There are two main things that I kind of want to mention, and one is online shopping. And I'm usually not the type of person who does online shopping, but it's so easy here. Like there are a lot of sites. The main ones I use are Taobao, or I started using that more recently. which I think more and more people are going to recognize that name. Like, and the other one's called Jingdao, I believe. The app says JD, so I always just call it JD, but I think the proper name is Jingdao. If not, I'll probably correction box. But anyway, so and there are lots of other sites, and I think there's a lot designed for foreigners even. Like, you're like, I don't know Chinese. There are apps you can use that are free that will help you order things, will help you like order stuff online, like they'll help you translate things, they'll help you get taxis. Like, I think there are a lot of things that are convenient here. But yeah, so I think ordering online is very convenient. Like, you can, plus you find better deals online. Like, sometimes when I buy things, it's like, well, I might as well just do that because I can order it and then get it shipped, like right to my apartment. And so I think that's really convenient. And then the other thing is, like, every time I've ordered something, I feel like it gets to me like within 3 days or less. Like, I'm trying to think of something that took longer, but nothing's coming to mind. But so far, almost everything I think I've gotten has gone to me so quickly. Like, in America, I always feel like if it says like 7 to 14 days, they're like pushing the 14, you know? But, and maybe it's also because I'm in a city now, so it's more convenient. So of course they can ship faster. But, and then the other thing is like delivery, like food delivery. Like, it's so easy. If you want to be lazy, you can just order food online and get it within, if it's busy, maybe 45 minutes, but if it's quick, it's usually like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, just kind of depends, like night, afternoon, when you're ordering, what day. Like, yeah, they're so, like, basically it seems like all restaurants will like offer delivery. And so, and there's a couple of main different apps I use for that, to do delivery, because I think there's so many services right now. And so all of these services have drivers that will go to these different restaurants. Things like this just make life super convenient and super easy. Maybe make people a little bit too lazy, but I don't do it that much. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, so those are the three. I covered everything, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are the three pros. I'm not saying those are the only pros, but I think those are some like the big three things that come to mind immediately when thinking about living in China. So now let's move on to the ums. Okay, so now here we are at the ums. I forget which side I did it on. The three ums, the three things that I have to get used to. First one, crowds. I don't know what to say really to go more into depth about that, other than like there are people everywhere. Like, you think you're like, oh, I'm going on a weekday. I'm going in the morning. Like, it's fine. There won't no, but there are crowds. There are always crowds. Like, especially like almost any tourist spot. Even if you're like, this isn't really a tourist spot, it should be fine. Like, this is just like a small thing. No, there will be crowds. Number two for the ums. This one's kind of a bummer for me, and I wrote about it in a blog that I write, sometimes. So in the link if you want to check that out. Actually, if you want to know more details, you should, because I don't really want to get too much into depth about this, because I don't want it to turn into like this huge long rant. But basically, it's been a little bit hard for me to accept like the social behavior etiquette in China. Like, it's just this kind of general concept that people like look, but then look the other way. Like, they don't want to get involved. They don't want to, like, it's not their business. Like, even if maybe someone needs help, or like it seems like someone's struggling, like, people don't really help other people so much. And I'm not saying they're not caring people and they're not helpful people. I just, in terms of kind of interacting with strangers, like people they don't know, like on the subway, like on the streets, like people don't really help other people, and sometimes it can be a little discouraging to see. Yeah, I don't want to go too much into that. But yeah, it's just been a little bit hard to handle that. Like, it's just really hard to see people kind of like ignoring. And I mean, sometimes people are just scamming other people, so you really do have to be careful. Like, it's like really this like difficult like line. Like, what do you do? Like, for me, my natural instinct is to want to help people, but then there's also kind of this like, no, in China you really do have to be careful, because it's very possible someone's trying to scam you. Like, they're pretending to scam you, but then it's like, what if the person really, really, really does need help? And it's really like, I'm struggling a little bit, but a different culture, and there's different history. There's a different history than my own, and there's kind of reasons behind it. And so, like, I'm never trying to judge uh, people here. Like, I'm not trying to do that. It's just from the culture I come from, it's been a little bit hard for me. So that's just the end of that. If you really want to read a little bit more, go to my blog, or if you really want to just ask questions, go for that for all those people that watch this. And then number three. Right. Number three. This is kind of a big one too. Is internet censorship. Censorship. But the Great Firewall of China, like, it just sucks. It really just sucks. Like, you have to use, if you want to use basically any American or basically any non-Chinese web or app, you need a VPN. And then VPNs are very temperamental. I pay for one. Like, I want to say $10 a month for one, because the free ones, honestly, some of them work sometimes okay, but like I feel I'm just trying to continue where my video cut off on me. And you know what? It's because my storage keeps saying it's full. I keep deleting a bunch of stuff, and then it's still full. And yes, I'm filming this on a phone, okay? I don't have a very nice camera to film this on. But anyway, I was saying that I feel like it's better to pay for one because I think they're a little bit more consistent, though they're still even temperamental, but I think they're more consistent than the free ones. What's with the lighting? Ooh, I don't know why dancing was going to help, like weird, awkward, tentacle dancing was going to help to the lighting, but it's frustrating having to deal with it. And like, I tried to use a couple of more like Chinese websites, but honestly, like, I want to use my websites, okay? Like, I want to use the apps I like. I want to use the websites I like. Because basically any of the non-Chinese ones are hard to use here, or you need a VPN to use them. And sometimes it's just social media. Sometimes I just want to get on Facebook or Instagram, okay? So sometimes I want to watch videos on YouTube. I like YouTube. Here's my video on YouTube. Gosh, I've lost my train of thought. So I just think it's really frustrating to deal with, and it just gets a little bit tiresome. It gets a little bit old. It's like every day. Like, sometimes my internet's fine and my VPN's doing okay. Sometimes my internet is slow and then my VPN sucks. Like, it's just like, it happens quite frequently where I'm annoyed because my VPN's not working or I can't use the website. And like, maybe the social media stuff is a little bit silly. Like, who cares? I can't use social media. But it's really frustrating when I'm trying to deal with like maybe some serious things, like doing some like online banking stuff, and then I have issues because my VPN starts messing up, disconnects my Skype calls. Like, I really just need to get international calling plan on my phone, but it was cheaper to do it on Skype, but now that's being temperamental. And then,
like, I was trying to get a passcode for something the other day, my phone call kept getting disconnected. I couldn't type any, like, the code into the internet because my website wouldn't work because the VPN wasn't working.
Blah, 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 blah. But anyway, it can be so extremely frustrating when something you think of as a very simple task that should take minutes turns into this like really hard, difficult task that, what am I doing with my hair? This like super difficult task that just like ends up taking an hour or two, and you're like, why? This should take 2 minutes. Oh, there's the lighting again. I'm probably not gonna refilm this. I'm sorry. Forgive the poor lighting. I don't know how to make it magically be good and magically stop being good. So here's my no, okay. Oh, there it is. It's when I lean forward. So I'm done. So those are the three ums, things I struggle with, like I need to adjust, get used to while living in China. But you know what? It's always an experience. Like, I wouldn't trade it, like, plus I keep reading articles. Happened again. Why? Storage, why? Anyway, I was saying, keep reading articles after I was like frantically trying to like whatever this is. I read multiple articles at this point that say, you know, if you can survive living in China, that you will become a stronger person. Like you will be a stronger person at the end of it. So let's hope that's true. I definitely think I'll be able to hold my own at the end of it because, you know, fighting through those crowds is becoming a daily occurrence. Daily occurrence. Makes me sweaty. Oh, why do I? The end. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. 3 perks, 3 ums. This is my life in China. Okay. Thanks for seeing my city from my apartment.